participants who have been with us for several times and newcomers. So if we haven't met, I'm Isabelle Lesschaeve. I'm a wine sensory scientist, and I qualify myself as a tasting coach because I'm here to help you develop your tasting skills. All right, so we are here today to have fun, but also work a little bit on your tasting abilities to detect wine aromas and taste and feel in your mouth. And I chose as a theme to contrast a Syrah from the Rhone Valley and a Shiraz from Australia and McLaren Vale. So I would say that for me today, the heroes are yourself, not so much the wine, because I really want you to have a nice experience to really fully appreciate the wine. So I will mostly be quiet and let you experience the wine and then have a discussion with you. So it looks like things are ongoing. As I said, I'm technically challenged, so I'm looking at the different wines. So let me share my screen just to give you a yeah. Can you see my screen? Super. Let me check. Okay. Super. So welcome to the tasting. I will try to ignore all the screen and just be with you. So my goal for today, as with all these monthly tasting sessions, is that by the end of this session, you feel more confident in your wine tasting skills and more confident in your wine tasting notes, however precise they are. So this is my favorite tool, as you know, the wine aroma wheel. So whether you are stuck in the middle and can't go beyond the raw the generic category, that's fine. We will give you some tips on how to move on to the other category. Whether we don't agree on the description, that's fine. We will identify areas to improve your tasting skill. And at the end of the session, I will share how you can work with me a little bit more. And one of the simple facts is that you can come every month as well. All right. So in terms of the session flow, what we are going to do is to introduce the notion of comparative tasting. Why we compare and contrast, the two wines and how it helps us detect flavor nuances between the two wines. Then, of course, we will go to why we are all here for, tasting two wines, and try to deconstruct the aroma that we smell and the taste and aromas that we perceive in our mouth, as well as the mouthfeel. And then that will be the fun part. We will look at the wine reviews and see how our tasting notes compare with the wine reviews. And most of the time, there are differences, and that's fine. But my role is to help you understand those differences and to really try to decrypt what the wine writer wanted to say. Okay? So in terms of the wine tasting, I have sent you, if you're with me on Zoom, I have sent you, some documents to help you prepare. I can see the glasses on the table. Make sure that you have your two glasses poured, covered if possible. Have some water to rinse your mouth. If you want to expectorate, I have my spittoon, but if you want to swallow the wine, of course, you can. Have some bread or some crackers to, again, cleanse your palate between the wines. And if you have downloaded the tasting sheet, this is the tasting sheet we are going to use. However, you can just take notes on your notebook as you see fit. So if you haven't tasted wine with me before, one of the rules is that there is no right or wrong answer. I won't tell you what you should be tasting. I will help you elicit, those tasting notes for you. So we will hear different, different experience, the description of different experiences, and we'll try to understand each other a little bit more. Of course, assuming we have the same wine. So let me check if you were able to source this Hermitage from the Rhone that I suggested. So it's a Syrah from the Northern Rhone, and the other one is a Shiraz from McLaren Vale. Were you guys able to source that? In Canada, maybe not. Okay. Okay. Fantastic. I saw Virginia and her friends pouring wines. Were you able to source similar wines, the same wines? All right, fantastic. John, were you able to source the same wine, or did you pick in your cellar to have similar styles? Okay. 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 Fantastic. And Jane and Charles, you went shopping. Were you lucky to find the wine? Okay, fantastic. The reason I picked the wines, in those stores is hoping that, when you are in the US, you can, source the wines. And thank you, Victoria, for joining from British Columbia. Sometimes maybe you can cross the border, but I don't, expect that much effort as well. Again, even if it's not, these wines are not the same as the ones I have in my glasses. Since the styles are different, and that's what we are going to assess and contrast. All right. Okay. So let's taste. Just want to make sure that if you have the back labels inside, try to not look at them. If you have collected some wine reviews about the wine, ignore them for the next part of the tasting, because it will be normal that we have different experiences. So in terms of the way I like to train your palate, because it's all about challenging your palate and training your palate, is by doing what I call a comparative tasting. So rather than going through the Syrah and do like traditional wine education teaches you to go through the visual, the smell, the taste, etc. I like to compare the wines by sensory modality. First on the aroma, and then and then on the experience in the mouth. So for the aroma, if we say that the first sample is the Crozes Hermitage, and the second sample is the McLaren Vale, we will start by smelling sample one without swirling, just to see what kind of volatile aromas you detect. And try to describe. So again, you can use the wine aroma wheel by looking at the more generic category. And if you identify a particular category, look at the subcategories to help you put a name on your perception. And then we will smell sample number two. and contrast sample number 2 versus sample number 1. So how is the Australian wine different? You know, is it just an intensity? Are there different nuances, you know, different flavors? And by contrasting back and forth, that's how you start identifying, you know, and being able to deconstruct the aroma of the two wines. And then we will share what we have experienced, and then we can go into the tasting. So I can see you are all eager to start, or you have started. Any questions before I shut up? No? Okay. So I invite you to start by smelling the Crozes Hermitage, you know, without swirling the glass. Have a break. You can smell your arm. You can smell the water just to cleanse your nose. Swirl the glass. Smell. Try to describe. Have a little break, and then go to sample 2. All right. I'll let you do. Need a bit more time. So really the principle is to compare the two samples, look at, smell what sample 2 has different, from sample 1, and if they have similar notes, is one more intense than the other one? Or if we are in a, let's say in a fruit category, do you perceive different types of fruit? I think that's how you will start being, sharpening your nose, as we say, to be a bit more discerning. Anybody wants to share their description of the wine? John, would you like? Meatiness, okay. Okay. Cedar, leather, say it again, and more tobacco. Yeah. Your brain and your olfactory receptors connecting to each other and expressing themselves. That's how it works. Thank you, John. In terms of tobacco, I remember training a group of people, and just to specify, that's really the tobacco that is not smoked. That's really the dry leaves that you are perceiving. Is that correct, John? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. So we have some fruits on both sides, but the Crozes Hermitage may be a bit more meaty, and the McLaren Vale may be more on the dried herb, more on the woody side. If I summarize, on the higher level of the categories. Anybody else wants to share? And again, there is no right or wrong answer. And if you had just one word on, to describe one sample, that's also fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. So more fruits on this one, but also more complexity in the sense of more different types of aromas that you are able to detect, both on the spicy side, herbaceous side, woody side. Anybody else? Jane and Charles want to try? Don't be intimidated by John and Victoria and her husband, because they have been in the wine industry, or they have trained for a long time. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Did you get some fruits besides the cherry? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There are differences. So when you describe, Jane, the woodiness, is it more on the toasted side of the woodiness? I mean, we went as far as um, cedar box, tobacco. We talk about meatiness as well. That is kind of on the woody side of the wine aroma wheel. More oaky, like toasted oak, like almost like a toast, toasted bread. Okay, all right. Virginia and team, would you like to share? No obligation. It's open floor. No, if you're speaking, you're on mute, so I can't hear you. Okay, less fruit. But less fruit, but there is something else that you have hard time putting a name on it. Is it what you? Okay. So um, the other participants are mentioning more, beyond the fruit, um, tobacco, cedar, pepper, licorice, woodiness. You don't have to first, detect that, but just, maybe explore those areas if you find some commonality. So I will share briefly, my notes on the Syrah. I got some dark fruits first, then something like a prune, so dried plum, something chocolatey, and then after swirling, darker berries came up, and I was wondering if it was cassis. That was a question mark here. On the Australian wine, I thought the fruits were fresher, so less cooked, more fresh fruit, and almost like a candied berry, maybe candied blackberry, and then I had a kind of a cherry with liquor, almost like kirsch type of aroma. So that was interesting. I didn't get the roasted and the woody characteristic that you guys have detected, maybe because the fruity aroma was a bit too overwhelming for me. But let's see what we get when tasting. Any question before we move on? All right. So when you taste the first wine, try to focus on the taste, the sweetness, acidity, or sourness, any bitterness that you may perceive, and then the retronasal aromas. The aromas will reach the back of your mouth and reach your nose. Ask yourself the question: is it the same type of aromas that I perceive by smelling directly, or is it something different? And it's normal that it's different. You don't have to expect exactly the same aromas because your mouth is warmer, so more volatile aromas can reach your nose. And then any feeling in the mouth feel: is it smooth? It is more dry. Sometimes it's cloying when if we had a very sweet wine. So try to describe the feeling. And before tasting the second wine, I recommend that you have a break, rinse your mouth with water. And when I say rinse your mouth, it's like after brushing your teeth, you really rinse your mouth to remove any residual aromas and taste, and then you can proceed to the second sample. It sounds like a plan? Yeah, okay, cool. Oops. Do you need more time? Okay. All right, who wants to share their assessment or more just description of the wines after tasting them? You know, what type of basic taste did you perceive? Did you perceive similar aromas, a bit different? Was it burning like my mouth is burning with the alcohol? One of them. Jane, would you like to start? I can unmute. Yeah, no worries. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Huh? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you said acidic in the back of the throat, when we perceive sourness and acidity, it makes our mouth water much more. Whereas when it's in the back of the throat, it tends to be a bit more bitter. Like, you know, if you drink coffee or unsweetened coffee or very strong tea, that's a sensation of bitterness. So just wanted to point that out that, you know, it can be both, definitely, but acidity will make your mouth water a lot. Just to clarify. So yeah, so the first one was kind of nothing too much in the in aromas, but the second one you got the tobacco. Anybody else wants to share? Oh yeah, sure, Charlie. Sorry. Okay, so more the feeling in your mouth. Okay, dryness. Mm, okay.
Thank you. Victoria, would you like to share your thoughts or your tasting notes? It's different. Okay. Mm. Mm-hmm. I was checking. I didn't get the paper initially, and I was just like retasting too. It's maybe there. Yeah. Well, I ordered a 19 and I got the 21, I think. Yeah. I didn't realize that when I sent the note. That's what they had in store. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. 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 It can happen. I mean, definitely, alcohol can be sweet and burning and, pungent. So depending on your sensitivity, that's, what you may experience. Thank you. So more fruit forward bitterness. Yeah, I can feel it as well. Virginia, would you like to share or John? No? Okay, you pass your... Okay, fair enough. Is John willing to share what his... Sure. For the... Mm, 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 mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so more floral notes. Yeah. Mm. So violet is an interesting aroma because depending on this aroma is evoked by a compound called beta ionone. But what is interesting is not the name of the compound, but it's that the same compound can also evoke raspberry. So depending on the concentration of the compound in the wine and your sensitivity, you can, maybe describe it as violet or more raspberry. So just a little science in the background. Thank you for sharing. All right. On my side, I found the Rhone quite smooth, a little bit sour, and I got some roasted note, but definitely the cherry was there, but not the same dark cherry as the Australian wine. The Australian wine, right away, I got the. I don't know if you know these candies in France for Christmas. We have these cherries in liquor in a chocolate, and it's the brand is called Mon Chéri. So maybe you will describe it as kirsch, like the cherry spirit, but that's what reminded me. The blend of chocolate and cherry and alcohol, and definitely the alcohol sensation was burning, was very present, and almost suppressed everything else that I could perceive. But then, after a little while, retronasal, after I swallow, the pepper just appeared. So I'm just wondering if it's kind of a aftertaste or after flavor. So that could be interesting to investigate. All right. So these two wines, quite different. I agree that the Australian, I also perceive more like fruit forward compared to the French wine. But the typical pepper, not all of us have detected that, so that's interesting. Okay, so let's move on to the next phase, which is to look at what the back label or the wine reviews suggested that we will experience in those different wines. And let's see how we compare our notes, and maybe, sometimes reading the reviews or hearing what the participants in the tasting are experiencing, help us unlock, a particular sensations that we couldn't really put a name on. Or, it's what often happens is that we will use a name, a label to describe a sensation, and the reviewers would use a different name. So I will try to help you interpret one way or the other. All right, so in terms of the Syrah from the Rhone, what the review on the site of Total Wine and More was saying is that it offers some peppery notes. A few of you detected the peppery. Cassis scent. I got some cassis on the nose, I think, but it was more on the dark berry. Some plum flavors. I think several, John and maybe somebody else had detected plum, and soft tannins. So I'm always a bit, reluctant to use the term tannins, because tannins are really the compounds that evoke, the sensation. So it's not really a sensation. So soft tannins, I'm not really sure what it means personally. Does it mean that it's not dry, it's smooth? For those of you who have gotten through the training of WACT, I don't know if you have a better definition of what it means, because it says soft tannin. That's how I interpret it. It's more, it's smooth, it's softer, it's not dry, it's not astringent, it's not puckering. Not a lot of description here. So you guys had a bit more description. Personally, I had more chocolate, had cassis. You had also some tobacco, red fruit, cherry. So yeah, I mean, definitely the spiciness, plum, dark fruit, and soft. Of course, the Did you get any other reviews by any chance? Because I couldn't find any other. Okay. Okay. I think you guys were better than those reviewers. I mean, better in a sense that, you know, more descriptive, and you really detected more different nuances. All right, let's move on to the Boxer. So I selected this one because it had, you know, it went in, the reviews went into different directions. So black licorice, kirsch, Kalamata olive. So both spiciness, fruitiness, and a bit of savory, as well as blackberry, blueberry, and Earl Grey tea accent. And I think somebody mentioned tea. I don't remember if it is for this wine or the Syrah. But what is interesting with Earl Grey tea is it might not be like, you know, the same sensation as a dark tea, black tea, but Earl Grey tends to have a floral characteristic more than a compound is called linalool, so it can evoke, you know, some orange, you know, orange blossom, or even orange. What's the name? Well, orange oil. So that could be, you know, for that, you know, if we could get that, that would be interesting. I didn't. Gains complexity on the finish. I think on the finish for me it gains a lot of alcohol burning, but that's my interpretation. Did you get any other reviews on this wine? No. Okay. Wow. Mm-hmm. Cinnamon. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. I think what it shows us is that different reviewers will, you know, experience different sensations, different aromas, taste, and mouthfeel, depending on the time when they evaluated the wines. You know, the wine could have evolved, but I found a bit more alignment, you know, in your experience, at least, you know, on the Australian wine, since we had the same wine, similar notes, and on the Syrah, I think the consensus was that it was maybe more simple in a sense that not a lot of different aromas and different nuances, more on the soft side, and the Australian wine was a bit more fruit forward. Any question or any on those descriptions that maybe you want to get deeper on it? No? Okay, well, this concludes then our tasting. What I would like to offer as a next step is, you know, if you are new to my world, and you still struggle to get, you know, out of the middle of the wine aroma wheel, if you follow this link, and I will put that in the email, you know, you can get the aroma wheel duo and the course to get you started on how to use the wine aroma wheel to get a bit more precise in your description. And if you are ready to maybe get more discerning in your wine description, you know, for your pleasure, or for, you know, if you want to go into the industry, I have one opening in the this month, well, next month, if you want to work with me on a customized program to really take you from being a bit confused on those aromas to be a bit more confident in the way you describe wine flavors and aromas. So I will put that in an email, but I really enjoyed tasting with you. As always, for those of you who are participating again, and welcome to Virginia and her friend and John to the party. It was a pleasure to have you as well. Thank you. And next month, I'm thinking of something a bit different. So exploring maybe some white wines from Spain. It will still be hard. So I was thinking Albarino, but two Albarino might not be as exciting. So I'm looking at maybe another Spanish white varietal to put in the mix. It's not the country of white wine, so we'll see what we get. But just again to look at different types of fruity floral aromas that can be expressed in white wines. So mark your calendar. It will be on August the 20th. And with that, I want to thank you very much for your participation. I will drop a note early next week with the summary of all the tasting notes from everyone. Monday or Tuesday, I don't know yet, but at least a video summary of our session. And I put everything was streamlined on YouTube, except that I realized that I didn't put my mic on for YouTube in the until we reach the middle of the session. So, oh well, I'm learning, so no worries. Any questions before we part? I mean, I'm here for you. So if you have any questions on what we did or other things, I'm here for you. Okay, thank you. Well, take care, and hopefully you will also watch the Olympic ceremony tomorrow night. That's why I switched to Thursday instead of Friday, because I don't want to miss it. I mean, I will see, a bit late, but thank you very much for participating again, and enjoy your Friday and the weekend, and see you soon. Bye.